Today we're doing 1.4 complex numbers day 2, and our learning goal is that you will be able to perform operations of square roots of negative numbers. So let's review again that when you are square rooting a negative, we use the imaginary number I to help us simplify the negative under the square root. And when you do something like this, remember and you have to multiply it by this, you have to simplify it first. So this will be 5i times 2i, which will give you 10i squared, which equals negative 10. And that's because I squared equals negative 1. Okay? So you cannot multiply those together to make 100. You have to simplify it first. So let's try some. Okay, so for the first example, we're going to do square root of negative 18 minus the square root of negative 8. So this one breaks down to the square root of negative 9 times the square root of 2. And the reason why I put the negative with the 9 because that's the perfect square. So that's 3i radical 2. And then this one would be the square root of negative 4 times the square root of 2 minus 2i square root of 2. And now that they are the same, you can simplify this to I root 2. And then you're done. Let's try another one. All right, so when you see the square, that means you write it twice. And before you get ready to multiply, you have to simplify. This is I square root of 5, because you can't have a negative. And then you can FOIL it. So that'll be positive 1 minus I square root of 5 minus I square root of 5 minus 5i squared. Because anytime you multiply a square root by itself, the radical goes away. So that's 1 minus 2i radical 5. So you want to put those together. Remember, I squared is negative 1, so that makes that well, actually, that's plus 5i squared. So that's minus 5. So your answer is negative 4 minus 2i radical 5. Remember, we have to have it in standard form. Okay, now let's try another one. Okay, on this one, I'm going to simplify the top first. So that'll be 5i radical 2 over 15. And then we will split it up so it's in standard form. And then you just simplify it and reduce it. And then that's your answer. And then we'll do one more. So you always simplify it first. So the I comes out, and then negative 8, that'll be the square root of negative 4 times square root of 2. So that'll be 2 times 2i radical 2. So we got 3i times square root of 7 times 4i times square root of 2. So that gives me 12i squared times the square root of 14. I squared is negative 1, so that's negative 12 square root of 14. And then we're done.